heading into Crystal Peak with the
Yeah.
dive that they picked up at Salubra.
And there's a huge amount of grubs there, for one, although without vertical, it's one of the more difficult areas to traverse.
Yeah, maybe they'll go up Crystal Peak for some grubs once they've collected wings.
Yeah, I mean, that's
But
just
at
a
the
useful
moment,
bench to have as well, to be able to access that whole area. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
So it looks like Con is
Oh,
heading into the
yeah,
dark
because
room to
that's
get to
the
resting grounds.
that will be once they have wings, they'll be able to go get the other wraiths up in Crystal Peak as well, which will be pretty much all the damage they need for Radiance with Shriek.
Yeah, Shriek is good.
Yeah.
I think Shaman Stone was somewhere good as well, but I can't quite
Yeah,
remember.
Shaman Stone is at the Gome Totem, so just at the bottom of Crossroads
Yeah.
near Fungal, so super easy to get, and only 2 notches as well, which is
Oh
always nice.
no, it looked like Con just died, or Con just fell at the end of the dark room, which...
Oh, that's so tragic.
Oh no. Meanwhile, Palm seems to have made it through. Just needs to get past the Glimback. And yeah, so Palm's made it through, first try.
Yes.
And Con went back to the bench to heal. So yeah, so they need to get to Resting Grounds to pick up, Resting Grounds is great because it means that they can use Dive to get into City of Tears.
Yes, and there's also
So
eventually a
yeah,
white fragment at Soul Eater, which will be helpful. So
yeah, and of course Flower Quest is,
yes.
or the Grey Mourner is around here. So you'll notice on Palm's screen that he just showed off one of the features of Rando 4, which is that you don't have to do the Dreamnail cutscene if you don't want to.
Oh
You can
yes.
just go right past it,
Yeah, the
which
sheer
is
amount of
very
quality of
nice
life.
very nice for a spoiler format where you know Dreamnail isn't useful.
Indeed.
So
Yes.
the other thing is we didn't randomize Elevator Pass, which is one of
Mhm.
the new features, I guess, from slightly before Rando 4. So they
Yeah.
can go straight into City from Crypt if they want to, which it looks like Palm is doing.
But we did randomize swim, which they were both able to pick up very easily.
Yeah.
That's something that came in late in Rando 3 as well. That is very, very interesting and cool to play with. So, unfortunately, we won't be really seeing that in action this seed, but we get a lot of other content. So, who is to complain?
Well, if they if they'd had swim from the start, maybe they could have come to Resting Grounds with the Blue Lake Shade skip.
That's true.
So
That's
it sort
true.
of makes the routing a bit different. Like you need to get swim instead of instead of doing different skips.
So yeah, Staxis is fighting the Massive Moss Charger, which has one of the white fragments, as you can see right there. So yeah, compared to the Dreamer placement, white fragment placement is really not too much of concern this seed. But we have plenty of content with the Dreamers, and yep, there's Isma's tier. So Jason and Khan going to be the first team to get that, and honestly just in the nick of time as Khan heads out into Edge.
Oh, I think Palm and Staxis actually picked it up maybe.
Oh, they had it, and I can't read.
Mind.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so I just noticed on the right we have some of the items the racers have.
Yes.
So Isma's tier is lit up for both.
Oh, I read the wrong side. I read because it was closer to them. Yeah. Smart. It corresponds to their colors.
So Palm just picked up wings, and now Palm and Staxis both have wings.
Yeah, and that's just
I think
a huge
basically
advantage.
they're just going to be running to get to the 22 grubs.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you've got 3 in Kingdom's Edge. You've got a number of them in Green Path as well, and Peak. The areas that they've been to so far are all very grub-dense areas, so they're really not going to have much of a struggle obtaining grubs to the point of getting Claw.
They might want to go to Deep Nest to get some grubs there, because so there are some useful items in Deep Nest for later.
Yes.
They might pick up. It'll be interesting to see if they go for where they've got progression now or where they're going to need to get progression later. Con not looking particularly healthy in Kingdom's Edge. Those primal aspids are definitely kind of scary.
Yeah. Thankfully, making it to that bench is quite helpful, and looks a bit confused, like he's turning back.
Does he want to get some soul, maybe?
Yes, it's looking like that. Looks like a classic,
Getting soul
the
from
soul
these
totems weren't randomized.
others. Not particularly fun.
Yeah.
Others. Having been bullied by them quite a bit.
Indeed.
So, yeah, it just looks like a bit of a grub hunt at the moment.
Yes.
Is that a stag? I can't see which stag they just picked up
Yeah, me
on
neither.
the stream. So it looks like Jason's going through fungal, which will be quite useful later because I think there was a white fragment at Mantis Lords.
There is, yes.
Getting progress towards Mantis Lords would be good.
Because the fourth white fragment requires Elegant Key, so it's really the third easy one between that Moss Charger, Moss Charger, Mantis Lords, and Soul Eater are probably going to be the 3 white fragments we see from each team.
I think it feels bad to walk all the way through fungal because you've only got the one grub, which Jason's picking up now, and it does look like Palm is heading into Crystal Peak for a few grubs, which is good. I guess he just did the spike tunnel skip, which is a lot of fun to do.
Indeed. Jason picking up Grub Fungal Bouncy, the best named grub in the game. So achieving a moral victory. And...
So fun fact, all of these grubs, all of the grubs in the spoiler log were actually named by Jason ILTG. I guess this was about a year ago.
Fantastic. And he is responsible for their own moral victory.
Exactly. Yeah, so just going around getting grubs. Staxis meanwhile picked up Lantern.
Yep,
from
that was
Autopipe.
Very quick grab for getting the next check, but that's definitely helpful, especially considering the amount of deep nest that may be privy to this seed.
It would have been nice to have Lantern a bit earlier, maybe.
Indeed.
When, almost in
With Crystal Peak.
Yeah, Jason heading into Deep Nest. So, one of the things in Deep Nest that they really want to do is fight Galeon, because Galeon has the most accessible C dash, which is necessary for the Lifeblood Core Dreamer.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be seeing any Hive content this seed, because while disappointing, Trampass is at Collector's Map, so might be a tad bit difficult for that to be obtained. But with Galeon being finished off, it will be feasible to get C-Dash and be on our way.
Yeah, Palm deciding to have some fun with us with in the spiky grub room in Crystal Peak. Just diving and hitting the spikes above his head. That is one of my least favorite grubs because it's very hard to get without dying, or hard to get the grub and also get out of the grub's room without dying.
Yep, there's Crystal Guardian from Con. That's a simple key that they're going to be needing to access Pleasure House later when they want to start collecting their Dreamers. And it looks like Jason heading down towards the Hot Spring.
Yeah, the Hot Spring will be easy access to Galeon a bit later.
Exactly.
Getting the bench, warping out. Of course, we run Rando with bench warp, so Jason can walk back to Deep Nest Hot Spring at any point and only lose like however long it takes to go through the load.
Yes, and looking at Palm and Stax's screen, I see 16 grubs there, I believe, so just 6 more. Looks like Palm's going to be grabbing the Crusher grub right now, which is going to bring them to 17. I should peel my eyes to see. That looks like either 16 or 18.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to read.
It's a bit blurry. I can't see on my screen.
That would be
At some
17.
point they'll just
yes.
head
So
to
they're
Grubfather,
they're
gather
neck and
for-
neck with grubs, both 5 away.
So Jason a tiny bit ahead because they already have the Hot Springs bench.
Indeed.
And picking up Shriek from Queen's Garden Sec, which is very useful to have. Or that will be their damage for Radiance, basically.
Exactly.
And also Jason opening or going through Queen's Gardens, opening all of the levers, so that for Flower Quest they can just
Yep.
that they can just have all the shortcuts open. Although Con was the one who already has Resting Rounds bench, so maybe that was not most ideal.
Yeah, we'll have to
Wait.
see. It looks like Palm and Staxis just got their Shriek as well, albeit from a different location, up in Peak. So that's fairly solid. Jason having some fun grabbing these Steep Nest grubs and making that climb towards Tram Bench, which will put them within spitting distance of Galeon.
Daxis also going through, having a lot of fun.
A little
with the
more
slicing
success
on the
at
top
getting
of
up
the
there.
nest room.
Yes.
It's a nice grub. And that is their first Dreamnail from Palm. Dreamnail obviously being required to fight the Radiance.
Yes.
So you don't think about it usually because there are 4 Dreamnails in the seed, and usually
You just get one.
get a Dreamnail. Yeah. I have found myself in the Hollow Knight fight without a Dreamnail more than 0 times. It's quite embarrassing when Hornet shows up, fight a Dreamnail, and you can't get into the HK's head. So I'm not sure.
Here comes Galeon from Jason. This will be a very quick fight with Shriek. With no nail upgrades, the health doesn't scale, so it's absolutely a slaughter. Yep, nice and easy,
so
and they'll be getting C-Dash.
Yeah, so meanwhile on Staxis and Palm's stream, Palm was just jumping around in Crossroads Stag Room, waiting for Staxis to get the Queen's Garden Stag.
Excellent.
So Con just picking up Claw now, so...
Including a new feature of Rando 4.
Yeah, the Grubfather chest is very, very nice, not having to read all of the shinies one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they wouldn't need to read the shinies because it's a spoiler format.
Right. But nonetheless, there is Claw.
Claw.
So the blue team is
now they
beginning
can
to look quite well
quickly.
equipped. Yes.
Yeah, obviously having C-Dash means they can move around a lot more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not sure what... Okay, clearly going to Sharp Shadow.
Yes. What is
Yeah,
there
so
again?
it's sort of surprisingly quick to get. Like, 22 grubs, it's a bit scary, but it doesn't actually
When you've
take
got
that
2
long to
people
pick
on the
up.
job, especially, I mean,
Yeah.
when you can split tasks like that, it's really not as bad as it sounds, especially because right out of the gate they got dash. They were able to get wings fairly quickly as well. So it's not as scary as it sounds, especially with a bench warp mod to help you traverse the map.
Yeah, bench warp definitely makes Rando a lot more quick than vanilla.
Yeah, looks like Palm is heading up to the Gorb totem for the Dreamnail that is there. So that will be their second Dreamnail, allowing them to have.
Oh.
Oh.
And now 5 Brain has
Five
taken
Brain?
over.
5 Brain takeover? Alright, we're
and
back.
we're back.
We're back. Shoutouts to 5 Brain, a fantastic member of this community. Excellent glitched runner.
Yeah. Stick around for glitch showcase after this race.
Indeed.
Should be good. So Con
is
now
opening
heading
those
down
levers,
to Manta
yeah.
Sword.
Oh,
no,
Jason taking
Jason...
a death up at the Deep Nest Vessel Fragment Gauntlet, which is an unfortunate death to take, but thankfully not too far away from the bench, so they'll be able to move back up in short order.
It's definitely tricky platforming, I think.
Mm-hmm. I have long struggled with this platforming, with far more movement than one should struggle with.
So meanwhile, Palm getting into waterways with the spike tunnel. So obviously they have a simple key which they could use to get into waterways from above, but they don't really want to waste it because they've got to use the simple key on Pleasure House.
Yes.
So actually, they could. So if Palm used the simple key to get into waterways, Staxis could also use the simple key to get into Pleasure House, because this is Itemsync. They've got the getting simple keys synced, but they haven't got the using simple keys synced.
Oh, that is quite true. And yes, this looks like we're going to be seeing Dung Defender from Palm, which really is starting to point to a Path of Pain visit from the red team, because that is going to be a third dream nail for them. So
it looks like they picked up Staxis picked up Kingsbrand, so they're going to be skipping the Flower Quest stream.
Yes.
Which I think it's an interesting choice. I think doing White Palace is quite slow.
Yes.
But
and I mean, having to go out of the way to fight Dung Defender as well is certainly not saving anybody time.
Having Shriek helps, of course.
Of course.
So clearly Staxis doesn't mind just waiting here for a bit.
Right.
No,
both teams have played together excellently. We're really seeing a great amount of teamwork and the like.
So I know that both teams did some practice before, just because it's good to. I mean, obviously playing Itemsync is really fun.
Yes. Looks like Staxis is going to set a Dream Gate there and might go grab a few other things while he waits.
Meanwhile, Jason's
just hang
starting
out.
on the Flower Quest.
So yeah, I think we're seeing two different paths from these teams in terms of, Con picking up Kingsbrand. So it seems like they're going to be differentiating in that one dreamer in pertaining to the Path of Pain or the Flower Quest. So we will see which model is more effective.
I guess it depends. Like, if you die in Flower Quest.
Exactly. I mean, Path of Pain, these runners are all seasoned enough to just be able to do it. It's not something they're going to be struggling much with. But, on the other hand, Flower Quest is something that can just sort of throw you zero respect, even if you're very seasoned. So, we're going to have to see if they can get Flower Quest first time, it's going to be a pretty clean advantage for the blue team. But if not, the red team might have a significant window of opportunity.
Yeah. It looks like Jason's... I've always wanted to calm Cursor Runners, so I'm going to say that Jason's doing a pretty good job with not getting hit on the Flower Quest.
I would think so.
Sorry, Jason.
I mean, they do appear to be moving quite carefully, so I respect it. But no, we will see. Yep. Nice work, Fliv.
Oh no!
Fantastic job. Can we get some applause in the chat for Mr. Flibber? That was fantastic.
Oh no.
Thank you. Right back to the Grey Mourner. I think it's time for an anti-curse. Jason is going to get hit right here in Crips. Going to absolutely fail. It will be demoralizing for her and the team. Going to be very tough.
Yeah. It definitely no success on this Flower Quest.
No success. No success for Jason.
So meanwhile, Con's coming to... It looks like Con's coming to do Flower Quest as well, just to share the... Like, if you have two people working on Flower Quest, then surely one of them will succeed.
Indeed.
Axis well on the left side of White Palace. I think he has to do left side, right side, and then
up,
and then some Path of Pain.
Yeah.
I think it's
the hidden
quite
totem,
a bit
right?
of Path of Pain they have to do.
So
yeah, that's I think number 6 of 7. So
okay,
quite a long way.
Unfortunately, I don't have any knock-knock jokes anymore. I credit all of my knock-knock jokes to Slorent, who gave me 26 of them on a whim, so I apologize for lack of knock-knock joke, but I
On
can
breach.
provide commentary.
Should be up to
Yep, so there's one half for Staxis and a complete King Soul for the team, which is nice. And yep,
On
they're just
picking
going
up
to be
nail
hitting on.
upgrades,
Yeah,
which is going to be quite useful for. Oh, Con not picking up nail upgrades. Con going
Con
towards
taking
nail
us
upgrades
out?
and then leaving.
Con.
Because I guess he realized he needs to head to. Get
Forgot
the
about
Dreamer in
heading
advance.
to Lifeblood Core Egg. That makes sense. Yep. The door.
I'm not sure where Palm's headed right now.
Jason taking the flower through Fog Canyon, which is a choice. A dangerous choice, but one I respect nonetheless.
It's definitely the fastest way, but
Indeed.
probably scary.
When I did Flower Quest casually, I took the flower up through cliffs and down and killed every enemy
Through
beforehand.
cliffs.
Yes.
Killing every enemy beforehand is definitely the play.
Yeah,
For a casual
but
playthrough.
I was... Okay, Flib, don't look at chat. I have a knock-knock joke now.
Not. Okay. I'm
Knock
ready.
knock.
Who's there?
Rando.
Rando who?
Randor. Our success hinges on getting it back. Thank you, Slorent.
Oh no. That sounds like a Slorent joke.
It is indeed a Slorent joke. That it's the Slorent for being the sponsor of all of this madness with his wonderful knock-knock jokes.
So Jason's almost finished Flower Quest. Very good. Florence knock-knock joke preventing me from being able to curse Jason again.
Excellent. This was the true intention, Flib.
Of course. So Palm and Staxis seem to have synced up fairly well. So
yep.
Staxis will probably finish or get to the totem in Path of Pain a bit after Palm finishes Phantom Swords.
It looks like Con waiting anxiously in front of the black egg. I'm going to be honest, I didn't quite get the joke that I told.
It's something to do with doors having hinges.
Yes, that part I got. I just didn't know if there was a deeper meaning. But yes, Staxis is very close. Heading over. Yeah, this truly is a great deal of Path of Pain that has to be done. And it seems like the blue team is heading into the THK fight on both ends. Oh, doors have hinges, that's it. Excellently. Okay, Flib, I have another joke. Knock knock.
What's the joke? Who's there?
Rando.
Rando who?
Do Rando now, please.
Rando. Do Rando all the time. Randomize all of the time.
Excellent. Very good.
So, Palm's picking up some soul refills for Staxis, just in case.
Oh, that's so kind. That's so wholesome, honestly.
Yeah, it's very nice that you can sync up the soul refills.
Yes.
If there's some accessible lifeblood, they could also do that and get the health immediately.
Yes, with those Path of Pain totems randomized, it does make the entire area much more tricky to traverse because you're not guaranteed infinite soul. Oh, Slort, that one is just quite wholesome. Yep, so Con's heading into the Radiance fight. This is, while it is truly a difficult boss fight, once you've played many Rando Seeds, it's becomes fairly trivial after a while. So I would not expect too many issues, though with 5 masks and double damage, anything can happen. Jason's heading in as well.
They have Shriek, which is the spell you want for Radiant. I mean,
Indeed.
unless you're one of those people who would prefer Bleedness, but...
Which is quite cursed, and we don't endorse that here. I am a Shriek enthusiast.
I'm not going to replace that.
Very well
Shriek is great.
It appears we're at an
Shriek is
impasse.
I don't think so. I don't have strong opinions. I don't remember seeing them pick up Spell Twister, but that's it's definitely nice to have Spell Twister and Shaman Stone.
Yes. Yeah, upon making quick work of the Radiance, Jason chugging through the fight as well. And I mean, it will be fairly, if either of them do have an unfortunate death to the Radiance, which is looking unlikely, it would open up a opportunity for Palm and Staxis, but it looks like this is going to be a clean conclusion to the fight for Khan. Who is, if you are not familiar with him, quite the gamer.
Last one to finish. GG's to Khan.
GG's to Khan.
Yeah. So both team members need to finish. So the team finishes when both players have defeated Radiance.
Yes.
So Jason just finishing up the platforms phase.
Nice and chill. Yep, into the climb, and it appears that we will not have too much simultaneous Radiance, if any, between the teams. So I think that in the end, it did. Our predictions were correct in that going for the flower quest was more efficient, even with several deaths on that. But I mean, Staxis did do a lovely job at Path of Pain, and it was a really wonderful opportunity to see both sides of that seed played. Just shows the versatility of Randomizer.
Yeah, lots of options, lots of different cards, which is the most important thing.
Exactly. We saw a lot of grubs saved. Very exciting. And yeah, I could not recommend more. Rando is a great game to race in spoiler log formats, non-spoiler log formats. Real shoutouts to Double Anti-Bingo, which is a specific spoiler log format that's a lot of fun. I know Jason would love to talk to anybody about that. But it's also just a wonderful way to rediscover the beauty of Hollow Knight with your friends. So I could not recommend it more. Go play Randomizer. Go hang out with some folks. Do some item sync. It's
definitely adds a lot
of fun.
of replayability to the game, in my opinion.
It really does. Yeah, that's GG's to the blue team, and it will quite soon be GG's to the red team. So this is really a really well played race. All four of these folks are spectacular at what they do, and go give them a follow on Twitch. Go give them your love and support. They all deserve it.
So, Axis just on climb, almost finished.
Always impressed with the smoothness of their climbs. Just the practice.
Yeah. Very nice to have full movement for this climb.
Indeed.
If you don't have wings, then
especially with Flib's special of the split claw, it can be a little bit maniacal as well. Yeah, that was a fast Radiance.
That's GG's to Palm and GG's to all of races.
Yes. So big GG's to both teams. I reckon we will have a short interview with the racers, unless we are too behind schedule for that. All right. We'll be bringing them all in. Jason?
Jason?
It's a wee bit of interference in your mic.
Oh, sorry, I've turned on push to talk now.
Ah, thank you. GG's, everybody. That was a really fun race to commentate.
Yeah, that's fun.
Well done to everyone, yeah.
Yeah,
so what did you think
quite
of
a seed.
Yeah, when we were looking at the seed, sorry, when we were looking at the seed, we just saw like Claw and Flower Quest, and we immediately said like, all right, if they do Flower Quest and beat us, GG. Like, good for them.
I did really want to ask, like, to both teams, like, what was your rationale for that third Dreamer?
So okay, I thought at first that Path of Pain might be the play, but when we looked at the Dream Nails, they were all like, none of them were super cursed, but they were all slightly annoying.
Yeah, they were out of the way.
Yeah, I think I think Flower Quest, like if you were actually making a speedrun out of this, like if you were doing the like rando, is faster. Yeah. Fortnite Rando would be faster, but I'm just like, I do not want to do that.
There's just so much choke potential. Like I did Path of Pain terribly, and it was still not close to dying.
Yeah, so I think we had a few. Yeah, we failed Flower Quest once.
Yeah, I failed Flower Quest to a regular Fengefly and infected Crossroads. So
I will say, Flib was talking about wanting his first commentator's curse, so he did intentionally say, you know, I'm gonna say Jason
Jason.
like, Jason, you've got this. Jason's not gonna fail, and so the second time I had to come in with a strong anti-curse. And then you were successful.
Yeah.
Of course.
Is far more powerful than I am.
I am curious though, who got like each vertical first? Who got wings first? Who got claw first?
It was so neck
wings
and neck.
First.
Did you guys get claw? No. Yeah, claw.
I think that it was within a minute, 30 seconds to a minute of each other for both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You went wings first with Ismas and Swim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering who got.
Oh,
like,
Palm
which
got
team
wings.
got it first? Which team? Got it
Oh, I think Staxis and Palm were first to wings. And
I would
Jason
hope
so
so.
as
That was
well.
like pretty streamlined.
Yeah, my grubs were bad.
And I think Khan was first to claw.
Yeah, the grub and like crypts I just completely forgot about. We backtracked NMC like 3 times.
So didn't get the grub and crypts. Didn't get the grub and the crossroads spike. Could have gotten those, but
no, we did.
No,
I got the crossroads spike.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
We
they
did.
didn't. Okay.
Yeah. But I got 3 in peak, or was it 4 in peak? 4 in peak, and that like wasn't very slow. And there was also the simple key there. So.
Yep. Yeah, we did the same peaks.
I think technically you can finish the seed without getting claw, because
you
can get you can shade skip King's Brand and Beast Den, and you can shade skip the Flower Quest, but that's horrible. So we got claw.
But that's not fast.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would have been that bad, but
I think it's actually close.
Probably pretty far.
Gate, but I don't know.
I think in a solo seed it would be faster.
Yeah, but you're already doing Flower Quest, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Flib, how did this compare to what you expected when you chose this seed?
It was faster than I'm not sure. I think I spent some time sort of thinking, oh, this will be really quick because it's Itemsync, and this will be really slow because they have to do Flower Quest and get grubs. I don't know if it was faster or slower, but it was definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a joy.
Yeah, I'm happy we did different routes too.
Yeah, that really. I was telling Fib, I think it really demonstrates like the variability in the manifold paths that you can take while playing randomizer, and just how different it makes the game. So, I mean, huge GGs to all of you, and profound appreciation, but also genuine respect at the level of skill and intensity with which all of you played.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, GGs.
GGs.
It's a fun category. Run the category. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, run Fortnite, Rando, everyone play it.
If you want to run Rando, just head to the speedrunning Discord and go to the Rando section.
Yep.
Yes.
So I think we've got to wrap it up, but many thanks again to all of the runners, to Flib for being a wonderful co-commentator. I hope that he commentates many times in the future. Please go give all of your love and support to those folks, as well as thanks to Kali for a lovely job restreaming and working through all the technical difficulties. So we're going to be peacing out, but enjoy the rest of this fantastic event, and keep shroom pogging, folks.
Follow D.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
this is True Ending All Glitches by 5Brain, who is currently the world record holder, and we start with a lot of tech, so I'm just gonna get into explaining it. 5Brain,
this entrance is really just jam-packed with a lot of different stuff that it's gonna be hard to keep track of, so we'll get into it now.
Yeah, 5Brain is gonna be getting started in a second, and is going to start a God Home file. Because obviously you start with full movement abilities, but you can't leave God Home. We're going to get out of it using a glitch where we open 2 instances of the main menu. To do that, we need to sit on the God Home bench, but instead of actually sitting on the bench, we can just go over to a hard save. So it looks like 5Brain is going to go to a random place and then quit out. That will put us on the bench, and then by going to the quit game screen, going back to the main menu screen, and pausing on the exact right frame, got it first try, very nice. We have 2 instances of the menu open, can load the God Home file, and then create a new file while that file is loading, and that's going to put us in King's Pass with no clip, bench storage, and all of the abilities in the game.
Yep, so the game basically just thinks you're in a Godseeker file, but you just started the game, so...
There's a few other effects of this, like Geo can be collected, but it won't be removed from the world when you collect it. So we're going to use that to get 50 Geo, which we will need for Crossroads Stag. By releasing the nail art, we stop the vertical momentum we have, so we can go over and find a place to C-dash off of, hopefully.
A little early, so it's
okay.
High. Yeah, okay.
Because we have bench storage, we can put on charms whenever we want. So Dash Master, Sharp Shatter, Sprint Master, stuff to go fast is mostly what we want. We don't really need to fight anything. As I briefly mentioned, we have no clip, so we can go through walls. If we go through upwards transitions, we'll hard lock. Hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah, and we're not going to be fighting anything because we can just no clip everywhere.
Yes.
As you're going to see in a bit, we're going to kind of start teleporting-ish play. It's going to look like we're teleporting a bit once we get into the room dupes, which are quite complex.
So we need some soul here, and we need Geo. That's probably long enough. 5Brain knows what he's doing. Opening Crossroads Tag, we're going to leave the room and do a Fire Bell because that's the hot new tech. With bench storage, we can enter transitions very quickly just by opening our inventory in them. Okay, so this is the room dupe. By leaving the room as a stag loads a new room, we get 2 rooms overlaid. Everything is going to be very hard to see. I'll just call out some rooms as we go into them.
Yeah, and that dive, if you get transition storage for a dive, you can move during a dive, and you can even cancel it with a dash. There's just... And yeah, there's a lot of stuff to keep up with here. It's hard to see.
That's the lever for Ancestral Mound and the Geo Chest from False Knight. Now there's about 5 rooms loaded, I think, because of a weird effect where loading a boss room will cause more rooms to be added to the room dupe. We're about to see Fog Canyon. This is Crossroads Acid Room. Now we're in Fog Canyon. You can see a bunch of the Fog Canyon explodey egg things. We're on our way to Teacher's Archives. Possibly the scariest part of the run coming up. You need to fireball at the right time during a down dash to get airwalk, which means just like at ground level. Perfect. Got it first try. Going through archives, we'll be able to see now as we ignore Umu, as all speedruns should do. Okay, great. Made it to the tank perfectly. Still need to talk to Quirrell. We skipped Umu by going around the trigger that makes it spawn. This is why this is the best category, by the way.
Yeah. You do not want to spawn Umu because if you do, you don't have invulnerability, unlike some categories, so you're just going to get hit.
Yep. Getting all 3 Dreamers is pretty lame, so we're just going to get one of them 3 times instead. We're going to enter this dream and then fall out of it 3 times. to load 3 monomons on top of each other, and then we can just collect them all at once. I think this is the third. Yeah. So we can't see anything, but there's 3 monomons there. By holding focus for extra long and then down dashing to fall out of the dream, we can skip the cutscenes. Like that. And then we're just going to quit out to remove the room dupe. Fun fact about Godseeker files, you start with 1 essence to allow you to dream gate out of boss fights in the Hall of Gods. So we're going to use that 1 essence to warp to the dream gate we set outside Black Egg earlier.
For some reason, unlike Beast Den, you're allowed to dream gate while in Teacher's Archives. Who knows?
We can skip the door cutscene by getting transition storage, which gives us control when we shouldn't have it, basically.
And again, with bench storage, we're going to change charms up so that we can have a better boss fight, because we do actually have to fight bosses to finish the game. Just only the 2 ending bosses.
Normally, we play these fights very risky, using Fury of the Fallen for THK, and there's a bunch of options for Radiance, but because this is a marathon setting, 5-Brain is going to play it safe. We can heal whenever we want to also, so really nothing should go wrong. Doing an inventory cancel on that dash. That's cute.
A little risky.
Yeah, so
yeah.
These inventory cancels are pretty interesting because with bench storage, if you just open your inventory, you'll soft lock unless you take damage or something else gives you control.
Yeah, as you noticed before, he first opened inventory only during C dashes, because after C dash you get control again. Also, did it once before the THK screen, which also gives you control after that. But if you don't get hit out of some of these inventory cancels, you can just be stuck sitting there until THK decides to smack you.
No, this is not Reki Pace.
Yeah.
King's Pass was everything except King's Pass was extremely good, but King's Pass lost like 5 to 10 seconds.
Bit sad because first try MMS. Yeah.
So like I said, normally you soft lock when you open your inventory. 5-Brain avoided that there by starting to charge a C dash so that when he released C dash, he got control back.
Yep.
Yeah, not really concerned about damage here. Radiance is like already at climb. Yep, there we go. Yeah, pretty clean run.
That's it.
It's the underplat. If you would like to learn more about this category and actually understand what's happening, the glitch channels in the speedrun Discord are a great place to look at. We're happy to help new runners learn how to do this. 5-Brain has a sort of guide for this category. Yeah. Oh, I should really say, completing a run of this is an accomplishment. Like, this is not an easy category, and the fact that 5-Brain was so clean on all the possible places where you could lose a run is great to see.
Yeah, really, really good.
GG.
Jeez.
Let's go. That was all I could hope for. The dupe was really clean. The fights were fine.
Yeah. Great run. How much time did he lose in KP?
I lost 5 seconds in KP.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I was like, I must have been at like just the wrong height. Because I should be able to get airwalk there, but it took me a while.
Good run.
Thank you. Thank you. This category is really quick.
Yeah. Boss fights were pretty solid. I love those inventory cancels on THK.
Oh, they're so good. I think yeah, so I don't know, I assume you guys probably mentioned, but normally I would use Fury against THK. But I wasn't gonna do that in a marathon. And I think honestly, I think Fury optimally saves about 4 to 5 seconds, so it's not that much faster. And so what I was doing, I was like damage tanking to get iframes to shriek, which I think is pretty good. But
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to learn fluke gradients, but I don't want to.
Hey, maybe we
So.
just down patch to 1568 and do nail.
Yeah. Probably.
If
Get those nailers.
Yeah. We rewrite this category every like 2 months, so.
Yeah. It stood for a while until Marcy found dupes.
Yep, current patch room dupes. Found like a month ago.
Yeah, like literally a month ago.
Okay, we should probably keep things moving. Up next is any percent NMMS, I believe.
Thank you guys so much again for coming. Yeah. And as Dax has said, obviously feel free to check out the glitch channels in the HK Discord, the speedrun Discord. We're always happy to help. So come check it out.
Right, thank you so much for running. That was a great showcase. Yeah.
GG's.
All right.
GG's.
GG.
Hello. This is any % no main menu storage. Jen is going to be doing a showcase and also getting the new world record.
Yeah. So world record for this category is an 18 something. We should be looking for about a 17 something here.
A 17 is expected.
Yeah. You know, if you're not matching ComSub, or you're even doing a speedrun.
Yeah. ComSub isn't even 17.
Yeah, that's because ComSub doesn't do dash first. It's a skill issue. Jen will overcome it.
Yes. Okay. To explain what this is, for those who don't know, this is kind of the middle tier glitch category. So all glitches allows every glitch. This category allows every glitch except for main menu storage, which basically means there's not going to be no clip in this run, and it's going to be run on patch 1028 instead of on current patch. And you're not going to start the game with every item like you do in all glitches.
Yeah, this was all glitches for a long time, but then yeah, main menu storage was discovered, and basically, this is going to be a very boomer opinion, but main menu storage sucks for, like, well, I mean, this run in particular, is just so much nicer on 1028.
Yes.
Yeah, not gonna get into that, but yeah, this run is really cool. We saw Jen going for a super slide there. Those are graphics frame perfect, so it's 1/120th of a second, which is, yeah, not easy. It's effectively random if you get it.
Yeah.
Even with like right execution, it's about 50-50.
Yeah, so it's frame perfect, and the frame that you need to pause on changes. So like you can't just memorize pause on the 4th frame. The frame that you need to pause on is not consistent.
Yeah, so spicy. Definitely not a huge mistake to like mess that. In real runs, you would reset for that, so half your runs die in King's Pass, which is a little cringe, but it is what it is. It's like 15 seconds time save. Taking a couple of damage in KP, not really ideal, because we have a trick called Acid Warp coming up, which is 3 intentional damage, and we don't want to die, basically.
Yeah, you need to have 4 HP getting into fungal, or else you will kill yourself trying to do a trick that saves 7 seconds. Basically what you're seeing here is a bunch of what's called a soup, where you use transition storage and then cancel it as the load ends in order to get control right when a room loads. And that way you can skip the entering the room animation and just be out of bounds. And that's what Jen is doing in basically every room here.
And this is Acid Warp, so this is that 3 damage for 7 seconds we mentioned. It's a little funky, but you see we come out of a totally different transition. The main thing is just don't think about it. We're here now.
Yeah, don't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
You actually chain 2 load warps in a row there. The second one you just can't really see, but it's a good trick.
And now we're doing Mantis Pogo, but with nothing. Hopefully with with some health left at the end. Yeah, we're fine. So that trick is actually quite finicky without like Fireball to air stall or dash or anything. But Jen gets it, no worries. Well, some worries, but relatively unfounded.
Slight amount of worry.
Yeah.
Could pull a Crythom and dunk in the acid, but I'm gonna hope I didn't just curse that. Okay, and we're good.
And Subs, if you watched the trending no main menu storage run I commented yesterday for the extended HK5Y, that used a lot of bench out of bounds or boobs, and Sub is basically a better version of that, because boobs you still have to do the like walk-in animation, whereas this you get control earlier, so it lets us out of bounds on like downwards transitions and a lot more horizontal ones that sometimes you wouldn't be able to with boobs. So it's just a more powerful version of the glitch that doesn't require any setup, because on 1028 you start with a map, so we don't even need to worry about buying that.
Here we're gonna see bench float, which is one of my favorite looking glitches, and Jenkar is also gonna equip Dash Master as they do this movement. And basically what's happening here is we're going up to the transition that is supposed to only be one way. You're supposed to only go through this transition from Howling Cliffs to Dirtmouth, but we can use it to take a pretty big shortcut and just get to Howling Cliffs very fast. And we're also going to see some more chances at super slides coming up in a second. There's a few of them in this area.
Yeah, and so Jen finally making it to the correct part of the run. It looks like they accidentally went and got Mantis Claw first, but since Dash first is optimal, he's finally caught up the intended route. Nice, gets the slide.
Love to see that super slide. And I hope we'll be seeing a VS skip from Jenkar. It's expected. World record doesn't do it, but Jenkar should.
Yeah. And yeah, just catching up with chat because focusing on two things at once is literally impossible. We get Dash Master mainly so we can move downwards with float, and gets that jump slide, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly so we can move down with float, but it also just, lets us schmove a little faster. Since we aren't getting Shaman, we don't really have anything else to do with our charm notches.
This is a pretty good Mothwing Cloak split. Both slides first try, and like there was a missed out of bounds, but really it's gonna be a pretty good split, assuming this Hornet fight goes decently.
Yeah, this is a really high variance split just because of those two slides. Sort of the early game in general, there's a fair few slides. You'll see a lot fewer of them later in the run once we get Dash, just because the distance you need a slide for it to be worth it becomes a lot longer.
Yeah,
Please
that should have been the last of the slides. There are a couple more you can go for, but they're in the range of saving like 2 seconds and losing about 8 if you go for it and miss it. And considering how difficult super slides are, that's generally not considered worth it.
Just don't miss it. We're at the tier where Jen's going to be going for VS skip, so surely, a super slide.
Yeah, exactly. So, so here, Jen could potentially go and do a room dupe to skip False Knight and get Vengeful Spirit, which would only cost about 30 seconds to pick up. But what we are expecting to see is ignoring Vengeful Spirit entirely and just going straight to Dreamnail now. In seriousness, the reason we are not going to see Jenkar just ignoring Vengeful Spirit is because it doesn't actually make that much of a difference up until Lurien. It's just some small time loss to not have Vengeful Spirit. But then we still need to get Shade Soul at some point, and the trick to get Shade Soul with Vengeful Spirit is quite easy, and the trick to get Shade Soul without Vengeful Spirit would be the hardest trick in the entire run, by a long shot. And so here we're seeing Jenkar go upwards, and they're going to hit some spikes here so that we can start a room dupe.
Yeah, and this is one of 3, 4, 3?
4 if you count Lurien.
4, yeah. One of 4 room dupes we'll see throughout the run. The basic premise is that we just have 2 rooms overlaid over each other, and then we use that to hit. Basically, instead of walking all the way across the rooms, we just change the rooms we have overlaid to hit like the opposite transitions and move throughout the map really quickly without having to do like much walking throughout the center of rooms, and it just saves a ton of time since loads aren't counted. And the load remover is very generous in terms of like how much it removes, so it really speeds room dupes up.
That was a good room dupe, and Jenkar also got good RNG there. There's one slight annoyance about room dupes is that occasionally there will be transitions that are actually completely overlapping with each other. So you hit the room transition, and the game just decides at random which one you actually go through. So if the game decides on the wrong room transition there, you actually lose about 3 seconds, but Jenkar did get the correct RNG.
I assume you wouldn't have seen it, but yesterday Sawa, for the RNG room transition, got it like 9th try or something.
But wait, you only have to go for it once in the Vengeful Spirit one, unless you're talking about some other...
No, in true ending MMS, there's one that you can retry for like free, but you need to get it. And so yeah, it was like 9th try.
Yeah, that's we're gonna see one of those type of... Oh no. that's not what you want to see
we
happening
might
in
see
Blue
the
Lake.
slide then.
Yeah, will we see a super slide? Back up super slide?
Yeah.
Oh no. So ideally you do a dash storage across this room, which is quite a bit faster than this float, but Jenkar missed the ground a little bit, dunked in the water, and ruined the ability to do that.
Just being considerate, giving us extra time to explain some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to say, so it's good to have some extra time.
Yeah. But the reason Jen was just floating helplessly there is he used Vengeful Spirit to get float, which is something that you'll see a bit throughout the run. It's basically just interrupting the Vengeful Spirit cast animation using Quick Map to gain control, and then you keep the like 0 gravity property of Vengeful Spirit basically until we cast it again to get rid of it.
Yeah.
No main menu storage as a whole can basically be boiled down to using Quick Map to interrupt things that you shouldn't be able to interrupt for weird and wacky side effects.
Yeah, that is like 99% of it.
And just getting Airwalk here, which is a bit more finicky on 1028, but basically makes the game think that you're grounded while you have P-float, so it means that instead of that helpless floating through like Blue Lake you saw, for example, it lets us just chain dashes, which is obviously much faster.
Mm-hmm. Coming up is a somewhat risky trick, although I don't want to say anything because I don't want to curse it, but it shouldn't really be failed. Where Jenkar is gonna, instead of taking the normal path out of Resting Grounds, they're gonna leave to the right to go to the stag here, and then drop down and do a slow fall to get into crypts. Because the transition is still there, even if you haven't used dive to break the floor. That looked good to me. Yeah, that was perfect. That was really fast on that slow fall.
Yeah, definitely. And part of what makes that one so much worse than the few others we'll see throughout the rest of the run is just the out of bounds geometry there is really weird. So you can't even like just press yourself against the wall and hold left basically. You have to actually time it.
Now we'll see if Jenkar goes for the early start to City of Tears dupe. Doesn't seem like they are. Unfortunate. It's a trick that saves 2 seconds if performed perfectly, and if you get bad RNG, you lose all that time save. Here we'll hopefully... Yeah, there we go. Here's a successful dash storage. So this is pausing the game after starting a dash with transition storage, which makes you lose control of the knight, but it also preserves the speed that you had when you paused. And so you just zoom across the entire room.
Yep, and we're going to see a different method of getting rune dupes here with a vertical transition. Basically, the game gives you control back, and it lets us hit the transition twice, is the really short version. But it's just going to let us skip Watcher Knights because boss fights are hard, so we do our best to avoid them. They're also slow, and this will get us to Lurien.
Took a few attempts there, but basically all Jenkar needed to do there was jump up as soon as they hit the ground. You just need to be very, very fast there, and then you get this room dupe. And we're past Watcher Knights.
Yeah, and getting some of our money. We need very little, we only need 250 for DV Stag. So just getting some of that, and Televator, everyone's favorite minor glitch, basically just lets us go from bottom of elevator to top of elevator instantly because Team Cherry and elevators do not mix. There are so many elevator specific glitches. We're gonna see another one coming up shortly, actually.
Yeah, we're coming up to, for some reason, the worst split in the entire run, where if you like look at it from the outside, it seems like there's so little that can go wrong, yet you still every single run manage to lose like 11 seconds to Shade Soul. So basically the crux of this split is we're gonna get elevator storage by standing on top of an elevator right next to the spikes and then walking into the spikes, which respawns us, but the game doesn't think we're off the elevator because we never walked off of it. So then when we call the elevator up, we continue to move up as if we were on the elevator, and we can use that motion to clip through the floor and get to Shade Soul. And so we'll see Jenkar do that once we get to Soul Sanctum.
Yeah, and this is the trick that kills VS Skid, basically.
Yes.
Because that upwards movement, when you have float, is like really big, but when you don't have float, it's basically like not that much, and so you have to also then use like wall jumps and all that to try and get yourself through the floor, and it's just not good.
you make it through the clipping sequence if you don't have float with like a fraction of a second to spare. It's incredibly tight. But with float, quite a bit simpler. We'll see it right here.
Yep, no worries.
And so what happened there is the elevator movement is not like normal movement in this game. It's not a speed value, it just moves you up position-wise. And so if you lag the game by opening inventory, which is what you saw there, you move up farther per frame, and then you can clip through the floor.
Yep, and this is going to be one of the two really big dupes in the run. So this will be getting us to Monomon with one huge room dupe. In this patch, going through asynchronous transitions.
Well, Jenkar does the new strat. I forgot that. Jenkar told me they started doing the new stuff. That looked good. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Basically, we use the archives door to get rid of the room dupe, but we're going to be duping our way there. Unfortunately, they are very hard.
Yes.
Yeah, like...
So, these room dupes, especially that section of this room dupe, there's about 4 or 5 rooms in a row that you need to do perfectly, and if you mess up even slightly, you're just soft locked and you have to quit out. And so that's what happened there. Jenkar was on one of the new rooms put in by a new strat for that room dupe, and it unfortunately it was just a bit late on the out of bounds, and that cost them that attempt.
Yeah, these two room dupes, like the two big ones, are probably some of the hardest, like probably the hardest minute of, this is probably like the hardest minute of solid gameplay in like just about any category, excluding, like random low percent and that kind of thing, just because it's so easy to mess up. There's so many rooms you're doing like blind.
Yes.
And oh, you go.
Yeah, a lot of people think of what's happening here, where Jenkar's like floating up, as blind movement because you can't see the night. But there's still plenty of visual cues in terms of where the camera is, how dark or light the room is, so you can tell where the night is. There is a room later in this room dupe that is a pure black screen, and you actually have to do fairly complex movement through it. So it takes quite a bit of practice and just listening to a lot of audio cues, but it's actually one of my favorite parts of the run to do. Once you get good at it, it's very satisfying.
so we just have to go back here to set up the room dupe again, and then we'll get another attempt at it.
I don't know what. Oh, did they not have enough soul?
Mustn't. Yeah, 'cause you need 2 casts, right? And what to heal.
I'm intrigued by this backup, but yeah, I guess they just didn't have enough soul.
Looks like that worked based on length of load, easy. And yeah, we'll get another attempt at this. This dupe and the Hera one, like the 2 main reasons why this category was / is considered like not really marathon viable for the longest time.
Yes, I still kind of think Jenkar is insane for running this in a marathon.
Yeah, I mean, they did it for another marathon earlier in the week, like 2 days ago or something, and it went really smoothly then. Unfortunately, I'm gonna say that Cry Your Presence is definitely the curse here, because I was vaguely aware of / in chat for the other one, and it went fine.
Yeah, it's probably my fault. I do just have an air of inconsistency around me that seems to transfer to anyone I'm nearby. So I do take full blame for this, but this is a very hard sequence of tricks to pull off, and there is a different way to. You don't have to do this room dupe, but you lose about 30 seconds if you don't. And also, Jenkar wouldn't have the money required to not do this room dupe, so they're kind of forced into it.
They can just go dupe. Sorry, they can just go get dive, get fluke nest, and kill dupe Gorgeous Husk if they need money.
That would be interesting.
Ignore Soulmaster chest and everything. Just
you could just do what All Skills does and like get the Watcher Knight's chest again. There's a way to bring it back to life.
Also, like, just killing Gorgeous Husk normally would be enough.
Just kill Gorgeous Husk normally. Is the other option. Part of the issues that may be happening here is that I know until recently Jenkar didn't do the new room dupe strats. The routing for this room dupe changed slightly when I realized you could save about 5 seconds by going to Soul Sanctum first before going to Fungal, which sounds counterintuitive, but just think about room dupes in a way that going the opposite direction of where you actually want to go is generally the fastest way to go where you want to go. And actually here Jenkar is doing old strat, which I assume they're more comfortable with, although... Oh no.
Why do you say anything?
I should stop talking. I should really just stop talking. I'm sorry.
How about this? When it gets to the room dupes, you just go and play Elden Ring for like 5 minutes, and then come back for the rest.
I'll be fully silent as soon as we get back to Soul Sanctum here.
But yeah, I must again, like, I cannot understate the difficulty of these tricks. Like, I'm not just saying they're really hard to make Jen feel better or anything. Like, these are super hard tricks. Jen is like the 2nd best player in this category, and it goes like Krytham, Jenkar, huge gap. Like, yeah, the level of execution, especially to even be at this point of consistency for marathon submission, is like hugely commendable.
Yeah, and like I've done some races against Jenkar, and like Jenkar was finishing runs way better than I ever do. Like it's so hard to get through these. But also, this is my designated time to shut up, so I'm gonna be quiet now.
Yeah. Alright. And gets the dupe, judging by length of load. Yep, easy. And here we go. And sort of as mentioned, a lot of this is done out of bounds, and that cast there is just getting float, I believe, and is a big part of why we need the 6 hits of soul for this. And we're coming up to the very difficult bit here, where it's basically a whole bunch of subs and perfect movement. That one there is particularly hard.
That one is the
that's
reason
one
I
where
do
you
the
either
other
like
strat.
sub and then jump out, right? Or you hit the load and then just get stuck.
Nice.
Right. This is a lot better. I'm not sorry. I take that back. This is of an absolutely neutral quality. I will not
Without
be
cursing anything, this is very neutral.
Yeah.
Nice. Jenker does very different strats than I do for this section. Jenker has float here, and I do not, and so it results in very different movement here. But we are out of City. We're out of Soul Sanctum. This screen is pure black, but Jenker is doing stuff. I promise. And so we just need to get through a few more rooms of Fungal, and we arrive at Archives. Jenker seems a bit lost here, but there's not too much. There's not too much worry of anything actually going wrong there. Just a bit of time loss.
Yeah, and very neutrally, we are getting quite close now.
Yes. We're 2 rooms
Again,
away.
I'm just going to shut up for a little bit more, and then we can make the
Okay, now
funny
it's
noise.
safe. Now it's safe. We're done. The instant Jenko got past that top left load zone, we're free. I guess, actually I shouldn't have said anything. I guess theoretically could have dashed down too far and missed the load zone into Archives, but that would have been a very interesting failure that I'm glad didn't happen.
Yeah, very sensible safety bench as well there.
Yes.
Because again, we like not ruining ourselves in Marathon. And Umu fight here, we're going to be going for a 2 cycle, but we need to finish with at least 2 health and 1 caster soul. Otherwise, we're soft locked basically, because we need float to get out of Monomon. You technically don't, but yeah.
The health is more ignorable. You can finish on 1 HP, and if you pull off the Walkling storage off the gate, it's still like fairly totally fine as long as you have soul. If you don't have the soul after the fight, you're pretty screwed. So it's better to take a 3 cycle and make sure you have soul at the end than it is to just get a 2 cycle without soul, even though you're not technically locked without soul.
Yeah, just do the Walkling storage and then Shade Skip exit, like Jen had to do in the Marathon.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, Murray pinged me and it's like, Jen is stuck in Archives, do you have a clip of the Shade Skip? So they ended up, they got it like first try after seeing the clip as well.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That happened to me in one of our races and I just gave up. Because I didn't know what it was. So, yeah, that was Umu. And now we're just going to collect Monomon before moving on to another very large room dupe. That's going to take us from the start of Queen's Gardens all the way to Beaston.
And just going back to that Umu fight, the reason Jen was using a lot of up slashes and stuff there is because Umu on 1028, even when it's popped, it still has the like bouncy physics when you hit it. So side slashes bounce you away a ton, and it's just really janky and prime Team Cherry spaghetti.
You don't have enough time to do side slashes because they bounce you too far away. I'm glad you pointed that out because I completely forgot that's not the case on later patches. I just like completely forgot that changed.
And the other smaller change is that Umu has 250 health instead of 300. So it means that even with all the extra jank, we can still 2-cycle pretty comfortably.
Yes.
And goes for the sick airwalk there.
The Somni airwalk.
Yeah, my one contribution to the category.
I don't go for it and I feel bad every time.
It's free time save. No wonder Concept is in a 17. That's...
It's not a big deal, but just, it's like, Soul Collection is like very important on this. Okay, good. I'm taking the safety bench. Soul Collection is very important on this split. Jenkar is down like 1 hit of soul from what you want here. It's not a huge deal. It can be recovered, but just a slight miss up. Oh, actually, I don't... Jenkar had more soul than I thought, apparently. They must have ended Umu with extra.
Yeah, they ended with like 2 extra hits.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, that makes sense then. So this is the start of the next dupe. And coming up very early in this dupe is an RNG load zone. And so I'm hoping in this one, there's no real backup for if you get wrong RNG. In the VS dupe, you just kind of lose 3 seconds if you get the wrong RNG. In this one, you just have to keep trying over and over until you get the correct RNG. So I'm hoping we'll see a classic, like, 10th try correct RNG. Oh no, there we go. That was like 2nd try.
Let's go.
You can
So when you ask for the curse, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see Jenkar mess up the dupe here somewhere.
Mess up Thorn's jump. Nice. So
Yes,
that was a
Thorn
trick.
Yeah.
That was a trick that if you miss that out of bounds, or if you mess up that wall jump, or if the game just doesn't like you and you get a jump off the ground instead of a wall jump, which is not in your control, you can save that, but it's risky. Basically, if anything goes wrong there, you hit the spikes and then you respawn in spikes, and then you repeat until you die. And so that's for me the scariest part of this room dupe. But the whole room dupe is kind of scary.
Yeah. And it's interesting, yeah, looking at some of the rooms that are overlaid there. So Jen just looked at a transition there, and there's a Petra vibing inbounds, like right in front of the transition. And then, yeah, we've got some dark room movement here, but...
Jen going for a very safe slow fall there, which I respect. that was like half the room too high, but I respect it. And here going for a trick called a redupe, which doesn't add an extra duped room, but it basically puts you inside a doubled room where normally you'd be inside of 2 different single rooms. And so got it successfully there. It's a very nice trick. It makes the end of this dupe much nicer, much more pleasant to run, and it saves 5 seconds. So it's very nice. You do have to do 1 extra damage tank to do it though.
Yeah, so getting through here without too much hassles. Distant Village, this is the big Distant Village room.
Yeah, everyone remembers Distant Village. It looks just like this. This is taking a suspicious amount of time, which scares me.
Yeah, so the thing is, you have to do this totally blind as well, and there's like the one platform you're trying to bonk your head on, at least that's the strat I learned. And if it goes wrong, the answer is kind of just prayer.
I don't have audio, so I have no idea where Jenkar is. Hopefully Jenkar has some idea where Jenkar is. This room is I do it as a 6-second count up and to the left, and then I dash down, and then I mash up and hope that I enter Beaston. Oh no! Jenkar just giving up there. I know Jenkar does a 5 count and then does an extra dash than compared to me. Something went wrong. I couldn't tell you what, because like I said, I don't have sound, but that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, and just what people are saying in chat, you can learn this run. Like, it's very learnable, and the big dupe you don't have to incorporate early on or anything. Like, you can easily get top 3 without the big room dupes. Source, yes. I did it.
Yeah, I have tutorials on YouTube, not to plug myself, but just to plug the category. The more people that run this category, the happier I am.
Yeah, every like year we get one new runner, and you have like every person that's ever ran the category like clamoring to help said person because we just need more runners.
It's true.
So
Occasionally Pest threatens to come back, but then doesn't, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, Pest like, I'll come back, and we're like, do it, coward.
Pest boots up 1028 and does half a run like once a year.
So we just need to like convince a bunch of the current patch glitched runners to down patch, and then we're golden.
Getting Thorn Jump again, very nice.
Yeah, really, Jen, I think just wanted to flex how consistent they are.
Yeah, exactly. Dupe. They did the entire dupe, and then they just quit out for fun to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this category does have more of a difficult learning curve than NMG or all glitches, but I promise it is learnable, and it is very fun, and you should all run it.
Yeah, I think, especially with some like NMG knowledge, it's basically just spending an afternoon, a day, maybe like a couple of sessions over a couple of days, just learning like the strategies. And there's safe strats for like everything.
Yes.
Like the slow falls, you can just get the slow fall on top of the room and then do down dashes. You can just not do a lot of the room dupes, that kind of thing.
Yes,
like there's very little that's needed to finish a run.
These big room dupes that have been causing some trouble here, they're not like you don't have to do them to finish the run. You're about a minute slower if you don't do them, but like just learn the run, get some runs done, and then once you're at a point where being a minute slower matters, then you learn them. You do not have to start off by learning this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically like QGA for any percent NMG, where it saves, around a minute, but like even my run has like 2 or 3 minutes to save on top of these 2 room dupes, kind of thing. Like it's very, very skippable until you.
Distant villages again taking a suspicious amount of time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm worried Jen's in their head about it.
Yeah.
Or is questioning their timing, kind of thing.
Yeah. It is like salvageable. You're technically not gonna lose your run here, but you all know what Distant Village looks like. It's this massive room, floating platforms everywhere.
Oh.
We're in somewhere. No. Oh no.
Is this midwife float?
Yeah, this is midwife. So this is unfortunately not what we want to be seeing. I don't think you can save yourself from here. I think Jenker was trying to there, but I'm pretty sure that load zone is a death sentence. But yeah, like once you're lost in that room, it's so hard to tell where you are with only the sound cues of like, oh, I just did a wall jump, or oh, I just like you can't even tell when you hit your head on a platform. So it's really hard to tell where you are.
There is 3 right transitions in Beasten, in that Distant Village room, and ironically, midwife is the bottom one and not the middle one. But yet another lore discrepancy from Team Cherry.
I don't know if you actually go through the midwife, like the midwife transition there, but you end up at midwife after you go through the transition. If that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't, but it might if you understand.
One room, like the midwife and the one above's one room. So
I am fully aware that doesn't make sense, but if you kind of understand how room dupes work, it might. Once getting like very nice 2 in a row room dupes through the run, and then unfortunately just missing some timing in Distant Village.
Yeah, again, just Gen flexing the consistency. 3 thorn jumps.
3 in a row.
They've also had pretty good luck with the RNG load as well.
Yeah, it's generally not too bad. You would expect all RNG loads to be about 50-50 because, you know, that would make sense. But they're not. Some of them are like 70-30. Some of them, there's one in Soul Sanctum that thankfully is not in this run. But there is one in Soul Sanctum that the jumpless route has to do that is, I swear, like a 1 in 100 chance that you get the correct RNG. I couldn't tell you what influences RNG loads and their weightedness, but something seems to.
I can tell you why they're weighted. It's because when you start the game, it has a Team Cherry logo.
I was briefly, foolishly holding on for some deep insight there, and then
then you remembered that you were talking to.
Yeah. For a second, I was like, "Oh crap! Does Insomnia know this? I don't know this." Once again, a very nice room dupe getting through Queen's Gardens. Like all of these have been very good.
Alright, we're coming up to the Cry Be Quiet section.
Mm-hmm. I'll be quiet.
It is taking an amount of time.
Oh no. Okay. So they're high up. This is good. Being high up is better than being low.
I'm just waiting to see the soul meter fade.
I know. That's basically all you can look at here.
Come on.
The unfortunate thing is NMMS runners tend to not have a lot of backups because we're all little crybabies who reset as soon as anything goes wrong. So we never learn backups. And so unfortunately that puts us in a rough spot for situations like this.
We just got a car. No. No, what do you mean? Numpad 3 is a perfectly valid backup.
Is that your reset key?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, I've got backups for a good chunk of stuff, but yeah, there's some stuff where it's just, you just reset.
Yeah. I see some guesses in chat that the load zone might be dependent on where you hit it. Based on my testing, this has nothing to do with it. You could teleport into the center of the load zone and just be there instantly, and it would make no difference.
It actually depends on like your star sign and when the last time you looked at a picture of a chicken was.
I personally have some amount of superstition surrounding the Queen's Garden one that is required in this dupe, where if I don't get it by doing a fast turnaround with quick map, then the next time I try, I do a dash into the load instead of a quick turnaround, and and my placebo is that helps. I don't think it actually does, but I certainly like to do it anyways. If it's the size of the room you're loading, I'm happy to continue just reading guesses out of chat. This is I like talking about this stuff. The thing is, if it was the size of the room you're loading, you would think that implies that both rooms are loading, and whichever one happens faster wins. But if that was the case, both rooms would just load, because that's how room dupes work. And so that doesn't seem to be the issue. It doesn't seem to be a room size thing.
4 thorn jumps in a row. Let's go.
My guess is it's actually not even Team Cherry to blame, surprisingly. I think it might be a Unity thing. Just with, like, the order that objects are loaded in. There might be some priority with collision based on that.
No, then it's just Team Cherry's fault for using Unity. It all, like, comes down to Team Cherry's
It all
fault.
comes back to Team Cherry.
It's just like the Illuminati of making buggy video games. I have zero evidence for this whatsoever, but Team Cherry was responsible for the PC port of Elden Ring.
I think I heard something about that, actually. I think they also, like, there was some team meetings between Team Cherry and Project Red for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just, like, taking out all the competition by volunteering to, like, help release their games, but little do they know they're, like, sabotaging all the competition.
Yeah. We had a different room dupe fail that time. That was a slow fall that got missed, unfortunately. But what that means is that this time we're guaranteed to not fail in the distant village way, because we failed a different way that time. And that's how probability works, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm taking stats, so I would know.
Yeah. You're a professional. We'll trust your word for it.
But I do also notice that it seems like Genkar has reset their timer. I would expect I expect that is just a force of habit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I missed
Quit
the
out,
slow
reset.
fall. Yeah. Oh no, I missed the slow fall. Quit out, reset.
At least we didn't get a, like, save file deletion.
Yes.
I can tell you that the in-game timer is at about 16 minutes right now. This is an absolute banger pace. I will not be taking questions.
At 16 minutes?
Yep.
Based on the
100%.
save files that we all looked at when we were loading.
Yep.
We all looked at that and it said 16 minutes, so pretty sure. Yeah, Jen has incredible consistency at Thorn Jump. I don't think I could hit Thorn Jump 5 times in a row. Oh yeah, Genkar does have the auto-delete save file on live split reset. That was, like, made for the old AG runs where you ended up with, like, 4 save files. I know Jen normally uses that, so luckily it seems like they are not currently using it, and the save file got to live.
Extremely high slow fall there.
Again, but you do love to see it. It's so weird seeing this. I guess I might be able to have audio if I tried hard enough, but it is weird seeing this without audio because I'm so used to relying on audio cues for all of this stuff.
Alright. We're coming up to the guaranteed distant village. Success.
I wouldn't have dared said that so close to it actually happening, but...
No, it's stats.
It is
if
stats,
it doesn't
right.
work, then it's your fault.
Fuck. Oh no.
Yes!
Okay. Right.
Yes!
We're in.
Alright, now don't die to the devout.
Oh, let's go. I wonder if they'll take the bench. I would take the
Yeah.
I would take the bench. Oh, for a second I thought they were gonna be able to wall jump off that wall. We're through.
April, we knew Jen got it because their soul meter disappeared. Which happens whenever you go through a transition.
Jen has some interesting strats there on that devout to actually hit it more times than necessary so that they have soul for a trick in the next split where you can do some fancy stuff with the stag. I'm too scared to go for extra hits on that devout because I'm scared that I'm going to be too slow and get hit. And so instead, I get all my hits on the next devout.
Yep. And so yeah, for those familiar with some of the, this is going to be a no main menu storage rendition of Firebell to make it save extra time, just by using a interaction storage and early control, like quick map early control.
So you'll see Jenkar store the interaction with the toll, and then leave the room and buy the stag as the next room's loading, which is a lot of fun. And then it is just a fireball at the bell. But with transition storage, because we have to make it a bit glitchy. Save a little bit of time.
Yeah, you're actually banned from doing NMG strats in no main menu storage.
You're not allowed.
Basically no minor glitches.
Yeah, if you go through a room and you don't do a glitch in it, your run won't be validated.
Former SRC mod, by the way.
yeah, I was a mod. I would know.
And
so Jenkar actually didn't do a glitch in that stag room, so this run isn't legit anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, ignore the resetting the timer in that. Like, it was a perfectly fine run before.
Yeah, I would have accepted this. I would have verified this with the reset timer if it weren't for that stag room.
Yeah. And we're gonna see we're gonna use transition storage here to just skip this cutscene because cutscenes are boring. This game doesn't actually have lore. Yeah.
I find it really funny that the door is just still there, and so if you just have control during the cutscene, you can just interact with it and chill. Like, it's great.
And now we're going to see a THK fight with inventory screen skips. And yeah, the main thing really to look for in this fight is like getting the Shade Soul doubles. Since we don't have Shaman Stone, the Shade Soul hitbox is quite small, so it's
the swag intro screen skip. In theory, allows you to get your first nail hit 0.4 seconds earlier. The other important thing to look at in this fight is that Jenkar popped all the bubbles before the fight started. That's very important. Kind of unironically, because if you don't do that and you Shade Soul and it hits a couple of those bubbles, your game will take massive lag spikes on this patch. So you actually do want to make sure you do that before the fight starts.
Yeah, like, for those people that think 1221 runs bad, 1028 runs worse. No matter how bad 1221 runs, 1028 found a way to get there. And yeah, during this section, just going to be nail swings because all hits are reduced to 1 damage there, so we just use it to build soul.
I am slightly sad that we don't have a timer here, just because I was hoping to see how much time Jenkar saves against me, against the world record in this split. I think that was an intentional damage tank. I think Jenkar had slow fall there and intentionally took damage to get rid of it. But Jenkar has significantly better THK than I do. So I was kind of looking forward to seeing how much time they would save over world record on that split.
But yeah, GG. That was a real good run. I mean, we had the couple of hiccups on the big dupes, but we got through it fine, and the rest was like really good.
Yes, it was.
We got what? 2 slides.
2 slides.
3? 2? 2.
2 slides. Yeah, no KP slide, and Jenkar doesn't go for the Dash Master one.
No dash first, but I'll forgive him.
Yeah, I guess I can forgive him. For no dash first and no VS skip. And successfully beating world record by 19 minutes with a 0-second time, so... Just as I predicted at the start, we saw a massive world record.
I don't know how this works. Do we get
Yeah,
Jen in for an interview?
I have no idea how this works either. I wasn't really told. I was told when to join the voice chat.
Yeah.
Do we want? Hey, it's Jen.
Yeah, Jen.
Hi, I was told to hop in. Hi, hello.
Welcome.
Perfect.
I was amazed at your Haradupes minus the distant villages. Like the fact that you pulled off basically 4 like good Haradupes in a row was very nice.
Yeah, except for Haradupes where I missed the freaking dark movement. It's so consistent.
I didn't have audio, so like I couldn't tell what was going wrong, but every time it was like, oh, this is taking a suspicious amount of time.
I miscounted.
I was
time,
amazed at your.
I just miscounted by like a fraction and either dashed too early.
The fact that you pulled
too early because too late
4
would be
good Haradupes in a row was very nice.
And then I tried to go for at the end I went for a 5 dash because for 5 counts and that worked. But,
wait, I thought you already did. I didn't have audio, so like I couldn't tell.
Full count,
what
dash
was
down,
going
dash.
wrong, but every time I was like, I thought this is taking a suspicious amount of time.
We count differently, Cry.
Yeah, I thought I did 6 and you did 5, but I guess I'm incorrect.
But yeah, and that Lurian like monument dupe, yikes. Yikes.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, it's hard.
I know.
I think we've been doubled. There's double audio happening.
Yeah, the audio room dupe.
Janko, you weren't supposed to keep doing room dupes after the run.
Okay, I have cut my audio. I don't know why it should be catching at my audio. It shouldn't be catching my mic.
Oh, we're fine now. Okay, we're good.
I use lifelid that I have been given, Collie. Ow.
Yeah, so congrats on the huge world record of 0.00.
I've learned something very important for marathon. Disable global hotkeys because muscle memory will betray you.
Yeah, I figured it was an accidental, like, just muscle memory reset.
Yeah, I would like, well, I guess I'll reset, and before I realized what happened, it was too late.
Well, my other question is, if you know, what was the Mothwing cloak split? Was it decent? Because you got both slides first try, right?
It wasn't decent. No, it was quite bad actually because I didn't get a good Hornet fight. Like the Hornet fight at the end was actually really bad.
Hornet was.
It was I think plus 13 to golds. So yeah.
Okay.
Also missing the Somni Pergo 2 wall jump at the start.
I did see that.
The what?
Pergo at the start of cliffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how much time that took RTA, but yeah, sorry if it went a bit over. But yeah,
what's coming up next?
Is this 107 relay now?
Oh, it might be. I'm not sure how we pass it on to them.
I think we like summon Collie and they'll do the transition magic. And there will be like commentators who know what they're doing that come in and.
Okay.
We've got a Palm.
We're being told that we can wrap it up, so it seems that 107 is prepared. So
in that case,
wrap it up. Just for everyone that was considering maybe running this category and then being scared because of what I just did, don't worry, you don't have to do that.
Yeah. GG.
I
run.
think we've been actually cut off.
Everybody run this category.
Yeah, I think they can't hear us, but please run if you can hear. GG Jen. Thank Cry. Thank everyone else. Thanks for coming to my TED talk.
They can still hear.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Good luck, 107. Bye.
Alright, you can go on live.
I'm back again one more time. So next up is the 107 relay. These restreams to you by Kali Monster. She did a great job. So the last restream is going to be taken by Palm. He's going to be in charge of a lot of stream swaps. So wish Palm the best of luck. I'm sure he's going to do amazing. So yeah, the stream's going to be down for just a tad bit, and we'll be right back, and we'll get into it as soon as possible. So see you guys in a bit.